Shouts out to everybody. Gotta do something real quick. Hold on 1 second. All right, and we are back. I just have to leave out. All right, and we are back. I just have to leave out, shoot the link, just in case, they send Vonta to another live that ain't supposed to exist. You know what I'm saying? So like I have to leave out and do this, because my second phone is not working, so I gotta improvise. So till then, we're gonna play a couple tracks and we're gonna get off into it.
Smoking weed, feeling good. CD mobbing through the hood. Grab a chick, fucking good. Feeling so fucking good. Smoking weed, feeling good. CD mobbing through the hood. Grab a chick, fucking good. Feeling so fucking good. Smoking weed, feeling good. CD mobbing through the hood. Grab a chick, fucking good. Feeling so fucking good. Smoking weed, feeling good. CD mobbing through the hood. Grab a chick, fucking good. Feeling so fucking good. Sipping on this smoking. Feeling like a king, like a trampoline, put a spin, set it to the fins, gotta make the green. I'm a hustler, and I got some $1 billion dreams. It's a scene with the Cali chick, chillin' on the beach, cut her cheeks every fucking week. That's my cup. Till I D.I.E. Show you I'm a beast, haters weak, you will cease to be. If you fuck with me, got the keys, going overseas. Beat up with my queen, she's a party goddess. Yeah, you fucking know what I mean. Paper scenes all up in the throat. While I'm smoking weed, I believe I'm the only one that you gonna need. Feeling good, baby, yes indeed. Got me feeling free. Every rolling up the street, baby, come and roll with me. We feeling good, CD bobbing through the hood, grab a chick, fucking good, feeling so fucking good, smoking weed, feeling good, CD bobbing through the hood, grab a chick, fucking good, feeling so fucking good, smoking weed, feeling good, CD bobbing through the hood, grab a chick, fucking good, feeling so fucking good, smoking weed, feeling good, CD bobbing through the hood, grab a chick, fucking good, feeling so fucking good. What's the flow? Fuck it though. Used to give a I don't give a fuck no more. Time for me to smoke some more. Walking with the baddest hoe. You know how it fucking goes. Stunting on them fucking hoes. Baby girl, I love control. Now we getting on the boat. Everybody on the floor. Drinking liquor, smoking dope. Girls trucking on the floor. Rolling up another one. Lean in my double cup. Club banging #1. Roll up another blunt. We feeling good. See me mobbing through the hood. Got a chick fucking good. Feeling so fucking good, smoking weed, feeling good. See me bobbing through the hood, grab a chick, fucking good, feeling so fucking good.
You already know. Since we about to do some Star Trek talk and another little movie tip, since we are not in space, it's only right if we talk about it.
Fucking Arkansas. Fucking Arkansas.
Phenom Road One Productions.
What's wrong with this goddamn lighter?
Baby girl, better get up in the car. Gotta take a trip to a planetary star. Flying through space in a black double law. Dropping her cheeks in the back of the car. Smoking on the pack that I grabbed from the bar. Getting so high, let's blaze to the star. Baby girl, let me see the shock in the awe. Like that a hood when I bag in the bra. Let go. I'm like, gotta win, and I gotta win. We can flow to the sky, sip a lot of gin. Chillin' on cloud nine, getting laid up. Silhouette shadows, and get lays up. Get it off the frame, gotta do my thing. Hurricane be the name, it will never change. Let's blaze on the blown by the beat bang. And baby girl, you know you the sweet thing. You the sweetest thing. Got me through my pain. Okay. Let's smoke and drink. Float to outer space. Sweetest thing. Got me through my pain. Okay. Let's smoke and drink. Float to outer space. To the cosmos. cosmos. Why be smoking no hydro? Got a legs to the side though, baby girl rise low. Don't worry about 5-0. We'll disappear the Cairo, kick it like Tybo. Baby get up in the groove, baby make a move. Tell her make a move, baby fucking on the moon. And a lot of motherfucking room, baby take him to the motherfucking moon. Baby girl ride on the dick, ride on the dick. Love in the head, love in the head. Woo. Legs on my shoulder, baby feeling it. We can be friends with benefits. When it's the realest, I never look at it, stick it like paradise. It's another dimension, I have a vision, put a king in position. I'm super ambitious, to make it love, baby, it's a beautiful fit. You're the sweetest thing. Got me through my pain, yeah. Let's smoke and drink. Float the outer space. You're the sweetest thing. Got me through my pain, yeah. Let's smoke and drink. Float the outer space.
Email Road 1 Productions.
Got me through my pain. Float the outer space.
What do you read to, Javert? You expect me to believe that a decorated Starfleet officer, the pride of the service, is going to poison an entire planet?
That's exactly.
You're bluffing.
Am I? Commander, launch torpedoes.
Aye, sir.
Commander, I said launch torpedoes. Aye, sir.
Aye, sir.
Trilithium resin is dissipating throughout the biosphere. The Maquis are scrambling their transport ships. They're starting to evacuate.
Do you realize what you've done?
I've only just begun. I'm going to eliminate every Maquis colony in the DMZ.
You're talking about turning hundreds of thousands of people into homeless refugees.
That's right. When you attacked the Malinche, you proved one thing. That the Maquis have become an intolerable threat to the security of the Federation, and I am going to eliminate that threat.
But think about those people you saw in the caves. Huddled and starving, they didn't attack the Malinche.
You should have thought about that before you attacked the Federation starship. Come, lay in a course for Tracken 2, Warp 6. Commander, prepare 2 more torpedoes.
Engine break. Set course
Unless it is on torpedoes 3 and 4.
Can't you see what's happening to you? You're going against everything you claim to believe in. And for what? To satisfy a personal vendetta?
You betrayed your uniform!
And you're betraying yours, right now! The sad part is you don't even realize it. I feel sorry for you, Captain. This obsession with me. Look what it's cost you.
Shut that dude off!
Commander Warp, prepare to launch torpedoes. Wait!
If you call off your attack, I'll turn over all our biogenic weapons.
Not enough.
All right, Javert. I'll give you what you want. Me. You killed me. That's right. That's what you planned to do all along, isn't it? You knew the data rod wouldn't hold up to scrutiny. You just wanted to get him on the station so that you could plant a bomb on his shuttle. It wasn't quite that simple. I did have hopes that the rod would somehow pass inspection, but I suspected that Tolar may not have been up to the task.
And what about Tolar? Did you kill him too?
Think of them both as tragic victims of war. If you can allow your anger to subside for a moment, you'll see that they did not die in vain. The Romulans will enter the war.
There's no
Guarantee of that!
Oh, but I think that there is. You see, when the task
While Shi'ar finishes examining the wreckage of Renak's shuttle, they'll find the burnt remnants of a Cardassian optolithic data rod which somehow miraculously survived the explosion. After painstaking forensic examination, they'll discover that the rod contains a recording of a high-level Dominion meeting at which the invasion of Romulus was being planned.
And then they'll discover that it is a fraud.
Oh, I don't think they will. Because any imperfections in the forgery will appear to be a result of the explosion. So, with a seemingly legitimate rod in one hand and a dead senator in the other, I ask you, Captain, what conclusion would you draw?
That Vrenak obtained the rod on Sukara, and that the Dominion killed him to prevent him from returning to Romulus with it.
Precisely. And the more the Dominion protests its innocence, the more the Romulans will believe they're guilty, because it's exactly what the Romulans would have done in their place. That's why you came to me. Isn't it, Captain? Because you knew I could do those things that you weren't capable of doing. Well, it worked, and you'll get what you want, a war between the Romulans and the Dominion. And if your conscience is bothering you, you should soothe it with the knowledge that you may have just saved the entire Alpha Quadrant, and all it cost was the life of one Romulan senator, one criminal, and the self-respect of one Starfleet officer. I don't know about you, but I'd call that a bargain.
When that music came on, when he said that, I'm like, man, that's a perfect motherfucking scene when that music came on. I'm like, y'all know exactly what y'all was doing when y'all did that scene. That scene is compelling. Now we're going to do one more, then we're going to go to the video. One more. The compilation.
You know what the hell is going on? I want to know why my science officer's been transferred without my consent. I want to know why my chief of operations is lying in the infirmary while the
Jem'Hadar, who beat him,
is free to walk the station. Are you listening to me closely? Because I'm not going to say this again. The next time you try something stupid, I will make you regret it. Trying to scare me? Are you questioning the validity of my plan? I'm trying to save your life and the lives of every hostage in that room. And mister, you are not making it easy. 5 others severely damaged. General Martok himself in critical condition in the Rotaran sick bay. Now, I have given you both a lot of leeway when it comes to following Klingon traditions. But in case you haven't noticed, this is not a Klingon station, and those are not Klingon uniforms you're wearing. You don't know what any of this is about, do you? You work here. You see these people every day, how they live, and you just don't get it. But what the hell, right? You win some, you lose some.
Better luck next time.
You better hope there isn't a next time, mister. I have cut you a lot of slack in the past. I even looked away once or twice when I could have come down hard on you, but those days are over. Now, we may not be able to get you for selling weapons, but you so much on the promenade, and I will nail you to the wall. Game to you, but you take first contact with a new species very seriously.
Hold on.
Do you? You work here. You see these people
Middle of the
every day,
promenade.
how they live, and you just
We have to go back. a little
what the
bit.
hell, right? You win some, you lose some.
Better luck next time.
You better hope there isn't a next time, mister. I have cut you a lot of slack in the past. I even looked away once or twice when I could have come down hard on you, but those days are over. Now, we may not be able to get you for selling weapons, but you so much as litter on the promenade, and I will nail you to the wall. Game to you, but we take first contact with a new species very seriously, and I don't appreciate...
Excuse me, Commander. If you don't stop this, I'm going to call the police.
You go ahead, call them! Call anybody you want. They can't do anything to me. Not anymore. And nor can any of you. You're Starfleet officers. Now start acting like it. Have you read Worf's after action report? Isn't it possible that there were no civilians on the transport Worf destroyed? Isn't it possible that the ship he saw was sending out false sensor images, and that this whole affair was staged so that the only Klingon officer in Starfleet would be accused of a massacre, and the Federation would be forced to stop escorting the convoys? Tell me,
Advocate.
isn't it possible? And I want to know why the Federation is willing to risk a war with the Romulans to form an alliance with a group of people that we hardly know and
Barely even trust.
To hell with you. And to hell with... You killed him. That's what you planned planned to do all along, isn't it? You knew the data rod wouldn't hold up to scrutiny. You just wanted to get him on the station so that you could plant a bomb on his shutter. You tried to commit premeditated murder. Another stunt like this, and your wife won't have to complain about the conditions here anymore. Do I make myself clear?
Are you finished?
I haven't even begun. You really want to do this? Here. Now? Yes. Okay, let's do it. You were prefect of Bajor during the occupation, true or false? True. And you were responsible for everything that happened under your command, true or false? True. So that means that you are responsible for the murder of over 5 million Bajorans on your watch, true or false? False. I tried to save lives during my administration.
Evidence.
Tried to save them. No, I'm tired of being calm. Calm never got me a damn thing. This entire operation has been a waste of resources, men, and equipment. The blame lies with the man who ordered the mission in the first place, not the man who tried to carry it out. Now I know it's hot, we're filthy, tired, and we've got 10 isotons of explosives going off outside. But we will never get out of this if we don't pull it together and start to act like professionals. That was low and outside. The ball was clearly outside. What are you looking at? You can't tell me that ball was over the plate. What were you doing? Regenerating? In 25 years of duty, I have never been taken off an assignment until now. There is a limit to how far I'll go to accommodate cultural diversity among my officers, and you've just reached it. You're damned right you should have checked. You knew there were civilian ships in the area. You fired at something you hadn't identified. How do you suggest I write up this report? He worked under me for a year and a half. I saw him almost every day. Read his report. Had him to dinner. I even took him to a baseball game in the Hollis Suite once. And I never saw it. Major, shut that thing off. What the hell do you want from me? You want me to give you my permission to cause more suffering and death? Well, if that's what you're after, you might as well pull out that phaser and end this right now, because I will never give it to you. You betrayed your uniform. That's enough. That space station, all those people exist in here. In my mind, I created it. And every one of you know it. You read it. It's here. You hear what I'm telling you? You can pump a story, but you cannot destroy an idea. Don't you understand? That's ancient knowledge. You cannot destroy an idea. The future, I created it, and it's real. Don't you understand? It is real. I created it, and it's real. You get back in that room, and you shut up.
It's not gonna happen again.
You're damn right it won't. Now, both of you, get out. You stole the run from us. You stole it just as if you reached up and tore off the scoreboard. You stole it from us. You're out of here. What?
No player shall at any time make contact with the umpire in any manner. The prescribed penalty for the violation is immediate ejection from the game. Rule number 4.06, subsection A, paragraph 4. Look it up, but do it in the stands.
All right, now let's get off into it. Fuck it, we'll play one more track first. We'll play one more track before we get off into it. Something space oriented. All right, after this, we're going to go right to the Star Trek. Let's go.
From Detroit to Texas. Pockets of the flows, I change this whole dimension. Reach my ascension, time to start the mission. Metaphysical drill shit you gotta deal with. I hit the mode that hit you with spinning wheel kicks. Feel this, I'm going hardcore. You cardboard, you perform for it. Hit your ass with this broadsword. Try the course, got away using parkour. Call the Saboteur, shot our ass with this Mossberg. One shot was seeing quakes to every city. Killing plenty, the government was fucking with me. Teach your lessons, restricted weapons, delete your essence. Have you break to the priest, give them the confession. confessions. Keep the message of revolution, I best to do it. It reflect through my art and my fucking music. What you doing? Sitting here, I'm cooking up. Can't find the revolution, then look at us. Hurricane, to be the name, got back 11s. Eradicate all fans, I see him stepping. When I'm repping, revolution got many weapons. No biblical shit, this is Hurricane. This is Hurricane. Breaking Hurricane. This is Hurricane. What it is? Breaking Hurricane. Cataclysmic and Captain Spirit, disaster village. I'm descending from the sky, you killing villains. Not tripping, they killing us by the millions. Vaccination to death rates, like high percentage. Oh, you mad? I'm spitting truth and fucking facts. Fucking fast, put you all in body bags. See me clad, all black, could be your man. Pistol whipping the fed and I'm killing your dad. Every bloodline real fall, I got a brag. Break a storm to the planet and then you journey fast. At last, retaliation for the past. This is my damn land, you gotta take it back. Don't be ready, the storm is deadly, you feel the rage. As I come to your city, destroying everything. Every rain will pierce flesh, so I'm the best. Ask if emergency is not a test. I destroyed everything till nothing left. Whoever left, the motherfucker get beat to death. While I'm repping the revolution with many weapons. No biblical shit, this is Hurricane. This is Hurricane. Bringing Hurricane. You know what it is. This is Hurricane. New chapter. Bringing Hurricane. This is Hurricane. Hurricane be my name. Bringing Hurricane.
Now we're about to talk about the different species of Star Trek.
Star Trek's universe contains thousands of intelligent species spread across the Milky Way galaxy and beyond. Some are allies, some are existential threats, some are political adversaries who occasionally cooperate when it suits them, and a handful are entities so far beyond standard biology that calling them species at all feels reductive. Today, we are explaining every major alien species in the Star Trek universe, their biology, their culture, their relationship with the Federation, and what makes each one a defining piece of Star Trek's storytelling. We are starting with the species you have heard of and ending with one that, at the very end, is so powerful, it has made every other species on this list look insignificant. Let me explain. Vulcans, the most recognizable alien species in Star Trek. Native to the desert planet Vulcan, they were the first intelligent species humanity made contact with after Zefram Cochrane's warp flight in 2063. Vulcans are biologically humanoid, but with significant physiological differences: green copper-based blood, pointed ears, slanted eyebrows, and a body temperature higher than human normal. Culturally, they follow the philosophy of Surak, who taught them to suppress raw emotion in favor of pure logic. The reality is more complicated. Vulcans feel emotion intensely. They simply discipline themselves to never act on it. Famous Vulcans include Spock, T'Pol, Tuvok, T'Pring, Sarek, and Soval. They are co-founders of the Federation and remain one of its most influential members. Klingons, the warrior species that defined Federation relations for the entire original era. Native to Kronos, the Klingons are physiologically tougher than humans, with redundant organ systems they call Brak-Lul, ridged foreheads, and significantly greater muscle density. Culturally, they live by a rigid honor code. Death in battle is glorious. Dishonor is worse than death. The Klingon Empire was the Federation's primary military adversary throughout the original series and through the Undiscovered Country film. By Next Generation, the Federation and Klingons had become uneasy allies through the Ketomer Accords. Famous Klingons include Worf, Martok, Gowron, Kahless, the Unforgettable, Kor, Kang, and Koloth. The species defines what Star Trek means by warrior culture. Romulans, the exiled cousins of the Vulcans. Approximately 2,000 years before the Federation existed, a faction of Vulcans who rejected Surak's logic philosophy left their homeworld and eventually settled on Romulus and Remus. They retained Vulcan biology, including pointed ears and copper blood, but rebuilt their civilization around militarism, espionage, and political intrigue. The Romulan Star Empire spent centuries as the Federation's most cunning enemy. Their society is structured around the Tal Shiar Intelligence Agency. Famous Romulans include Senator Vreenak, Admiral Torith, Kretak, Donatra, and Laris. The Romulan supernova in 2387 depicted in the Picard series destroyed their homeworld and reshaped the entire quadrant. Cardassians, a reptilian-influenced humanoid species native to the harsh world of Cardassia Prime. Cardassians are physically distinguishable by their gray skin, pronounced neck ridges, and concave faces. Culturally, they value family devotion, military service, and loyalty to the state above almost everything else. The Cardassian Union spent 5 decades occupying the planet Bajor before withdrawing in 2369. That occupation, with its labor camps and atrocities, defined Deep Space Nine's primary moral landscape. Famous Cardassians include Gul Dukat, Garrick Damar, Torazial, Barail, and Tekani Gimor. The Cardassians evolved across the Dominion War from villains to allies and remain one of the most morally complex civilizations in Trek. Bajorans, the deeply spiritual species native to Bajor, the planet adjacent to Deep Space Nine. Bajorans are humanoid with distinctive nose ridges and a religious culture organized around the prophets, non-corporeal beings who live in the Bajoran wormhole. Their religion is real in the most literal sense. Their gods exist, can be communicated with, and sometimes intervene in physical reality. Bajoran 50 years under Cardassian occupation, an experience that defined their modern identity around resistance, faith, and recovery from genocide. Famous Bajorans include Kira Nerys Barail, Winadami Shakar, Ro Lauren, and Vedek Barail. Bajor's eventual Federation membership is a defining political arc of DS9, Ferengi, the capitalist species native to Ferenginar. Originally introduced as Federation antagonists, the Ferengi evolved across DS9 into one of Trek's most fully realized cultures. They are short, large-eared humanoids whose entire civilization is structured around the 285 rules of acquisition. Profit is sacred. Family is sacred. Females in traditional Ferengi society were forbidden from earning profit, a custom Quark's mother and brother eventually overturned. Famous Ferengi include Quark, Rom, Nog, Grand Nagus Zek, Ishka, Brunt, and Lek. The Ferengi are Trek's example of how to take a flawed introduction and rebuild a species into something genuinely memorable. Andorians, co-founders of the Federation alongside humans, Vulcans, and Tellarites. The Ferengi are Trek's example of how to take a flawed introduction and rebuild a species into something genuinely memorable. Andorians, co-founders of the Federation alongside humans, Vulcans, and Tellarites. Native to the moon. Andorians are humanoids with white hair and prominent antennae that serve as sensory organs. Culturally, they are warriors, with strict honor codes similar to but distinct from Klingon traditions. Andorian gender biology is unique in Trek, with 4 sexes required for procreation. Famous Andorians include Shran, Jamel, Talos, and Thylek Shran. They were major players in Enterprise and have appeared in scattered episodes across the franchise. Their full cultural depth has only recently been explored. Tellarites, the 4th founding species of the Federation. Native to Tellar, Tellarites are stocky, porcine-faced humanoids with distinctive facial hair and a culture built around argument as a form of communication. Tellarites consider direct verbal disagreement a sign of respect. To be polite to a Tellarite is to argue with them passionately. Famous Tellarites include Ambassador Grau and several supporting characters across Enterprise and modern Trek. They are the Federation's least developed founding species, but represent an entire diplomatic tradition built around productive conflict. Trill, a humanoid species famous for their joined biology. Trill come in 2 varieties: humanoid hosts who live ordinary lives, and symbiont creatures who live for centuries inside successive hosts, accumulating the memories and personalities of every host they have joined with. A joined Trill carries the lifetimes of every previous host, blended into a single consciousness. Famous Trill include Jadzia Dax, Ezri Dax, Curzon Dax, and Tobin Dax. The species is unique to Trek's exploration of identity, memory, and continuity. Joined Trill are functionally immortal across hosts, making them carriers of historical knowledge that ordinary Federation citizens cannot access. Bolians, the blue-skinned species with a distinct vertical bifurcation running down the center of their faces. Native to Bolaris 9, they are full Federation citizens and serve throughout Starfleet, often in technical and engineering roles. Bolians are biologically distinguished by their 2 stomachs and their digestive enzymes that can process substances toxic to humans. Famous Bolians include Mr. Mott, the Enterprise barber, Captain Rix, and various background officers. The species exists primarily to demonstrate the Federation's diversity, but their occasional appearances have made them quietly iconic. Kelpians, a relatively recent addition to Trek lore, introduced in Discovery. Native to the planet Kaminar, Kelpians are tall, elegant humanoids with sensitive threat ganglia that detect predators. Their species existed for millennia in a state of perpetual fear, treated as livestock by their predator species, the Biyul. Captain Saru, the first Kelpian in Starfleet, eventually led his people through their species-wide Vihari, a biological transformation that ended their fear-based existence. Famous Kelpians include Saru and Sarana. The species explores Trek's themes of evolution, freedom, and the right of an oppressed culture to reclaim its destiny. The Borg Collective, Star Trek's most existentially terrifying antagonist. The Borg are not a species in any traditional sense. They are a hybrid civilization of biological beings from thousands of conquered worlds, all linked into a single hive mind through cybernetic implants. Individuality does not exist among the Borg. Resistance, in their famous phrase, is futile. The Borg assimilate. Their drones are former Federation citizens, Klingons, Romulans, and species the Federation has never even encountered, all reduced to extensions of a single collective will. Their leader, the Borg Queen, represents the centralized voice of the hive. Famous Borg include Locutus of Borg, assimilated Picard, Hugh, and Seven of Nine. The Borg are Trek's signature horror, Founders, the shape-shifting masters of the Dominion. Native to a homeworld in the Gamma Quadrant, the Founders are non-humanoid liquid beings who can take any solid form. They built the Dominion across thousands of years as a defensive empire to protect themselves from solid species who had historically persecuted their kind. The Founders consider themselves gods to their genetically engineered Vorta and Jem'Hadar servants. Famous Founders include female changeling, Lass, and Odo, the security chief of Deep Space Nine, who was raised among solids. The Founders led the Dominion War, the most catastrophic conflict in Federation history. Q Continuum, not a species, an entity. Q is the name of an extra-dimensional being who manifests in human form for the entertainment value of interacting with what he considers lesser species. The Q Continuum exists outside linear time and conventional physics. They can rewrite reality with a thought. They can travel anywhere in any timeline instantly. They have functionally infinite power constrained only by their own internal politics. Famous Q include the original Q, Delancey, Q2, Lady Q, and Quinn. The species, if you can call it that, exists primarily to test humanity, judge our worth, and occasionally save the universe when their amusement aligns with our survival. Q is one of the only beings in Trek who can be considered genuinely godlike. And finally, Species 8472, the horror that broke the Borg. Native to fluidic space, an entirely different dimension from the standard Star Trek universe, Species 8472 are biologically constructed beings whose every cell is a weaponized immune system. They are immune to Borg assimilation. The Borg cannot adapt to them. The Borg, the species that has assimilated thousands of civilizations across galactic history, encountered Species 8472 and were losing the war. Voyager helped negotiate a fragile resolution by giving the Borg modified weapons capable of finally damaging the species. Species 8472 are physically larger than humanoids, possess powerful telepathic abilities, and consider all life from the standard universe to be an infection. They sit at the apex of this list because they are the only species in Star Trek that the Borg, the franchise's signature unstoppable force, could not defeat. They are what the Borg fear. And that, more than any other measurement, defines power in Star Trek. So drop a comment and tell me.
Yup. And that's the Star Trek talk, y'all. We got one more video talking about it's not cool to split up in a horror movie. But before that, we're going to play a track. You already know. I know it's hot out there in the UK. Much love to the goddess Vanta. You already know what it is. Shouts out to everybody. Y'all respect the time zones too. You already know. I know it's a scorcher. Hope everybody all right. Hope everybody is staying hydrated. Hope y'all staying cool. And if y'all go out, don't forget to bring a towel. You want to get high? All right, we got one more video. We're going to play a song first before we get to the last video. Then we're going to get up out of here. I know YouTube ain't sending out my notifications. I've been here for 34 fucking minutes. YouTube ain't sending out notifications. And this is why I don't fuck with YouTube. And this is why you don't fuck with YouTube. Because YouTube ain't shit. Smoking on a fatty right now. Star Trek talk is over. Now you about to get up into the last video.
Smoking on the fatty, chilling with this body. It's so good, but the bass call me daddy. Smoking on the fatty, chillin' with this daddy. Looking so good, nigga bags call me daddy. Smoking on the fatty, chillin' with this daddy. Looking so good, nigga bags call me daddy. Smoking on the fatty, chillin' with this daddy. Looking so good, nigga bags call me daddy. Push it to the limit, limitless addiction. Pussy, money, weed, baby girl, I gotta get it all up in it. Give this bitch the business. Business booming good, stock prices never slipping. I've been smoking heavy, chillin' in the Chevy. Hanging with this chick, she the cool, hot and ready for whatever. She down for whatever. This fucking weed, till it's on another level. Smoking on the fatty, chillin' with this daddy. Looking so good, nigga ass call me daddy. Smoking on the fatty, chillin' with this daddy. Looking so good, nigga ass call me daddy. Smoking on the fatty, chillin' with this daddy. Looking so good, nigga ass call me daddy. Smoking on the fatty, chillin' with this daddy. Looking so good, nigga ass call me daddy. This how I'm living, chillin' with these women. Looking that we sippin', club jumping bitches, fucking to this daddy, giving her the addict. Put up to my crib in the cranberry caddy, got her feeling naughty. Time to have a party, smoking weed, now she run my dick like a hearty, blasting all up in it. Take her out to dinner. After that we smoke a bunch of weed by the river, smoking on the fatty, chillin' with this daddy. Looking so good, with the ass call me daddy. Smoking on the fatty, chillin' with this daddy. Looking so good, with the ass call me daddy. Smoking on the fatty, chillin' with this daddy. Looking so good, with the ass call me daddy. Smoking on the fatty, chillin' with this daddy. Fucking so good, with the ass call me daddy.
Up is the most agreed upon death sentence in cinema history. Someone says it, the group nods, and from that point, you're watching the body count update in real time. This has been going on since 1969. There's exactly one movie where splitting up was the right call, and one movie that finally admitted why the line keeps getting said. I'm going through all of it, starting with where it all came from. The entire concept of splitting up in horror movies traces back to a show about a talking dog who solved crimes with his friends. The crimes were never real. The monsters were always guys in costumes, like a guy in a rubber mask trying to scare people away from a property deal. The dog was afraid of everything, and primarily motivated by snacks. The leader of the group was a man named Fred. Fred wore an ascot. Fred had no discernible skills, but he had a plan, and the plan was always the same. Split up, cover the building, meet back here in 5. It worked every time because the worst thing waiting for them was a retired fisherman with a projector. That's where the strategy came from. Horror films saw this and said, yes, we're doing that. In 2002, the live-action film finally addressed it themselves. Shaggy said, let's split up. Fred said, dude, that's my thing.
Split up and search for clues. Scooby and I will go this way. Right, go ahead. Okay. They stole my thing that I said.
33 years of using the strategy, and that was the full extent of the self-reflection. By then, horror had already been running with it for decades. Nobody asked where it came from, they just kept saying it. The reason they kept going, though, that part's worth looking at. Every time someone suggests splitting up, they've got a reason. It's always something like, we'll cover my ground, or we can find help faster, or we should check both exits. And in the moment, standing in whatever building or forest they've ended up in, the reasoning sounds completely fine. The logic isn't stupid on its face. If you take the horror movie out of the sentence, cover more ground is a perfectly reasonable strategy. Search and rescue teams do it. Police do it. Any situation where you need to locate something quickly, spreading out makes sense. The problem is the part everyone skips over, which is that search and rescue teams are not being hunted. They are doing the hunting. The thing they're looking for isn't also looking for them. Horror characters have this backwards. They are the thing being searched for. Splitting out helps whatever's out there cover them. Every person who walks down a separate hallway has just made themselves a solo problem instead of part of a group problem, and solo problems are significantly easier to deal with one at a time. The logic sounds like a plan. It's actually just a schedule they insert to the killer's agenda. There you go, kind sir. And they deliver it with such confidence every time. Never a pause, never a, wait, should we actually do this? One person floats it, everyone nods, and off they go. 6 people who 30 seconds ago were a defensible unit are now 6 individuals walking into separate rooms. 50 years of this. Like, come on, the math alone should have stopped it. So, let's actually do it. The math nobody in these movies stops to run. You've got a group of 6, 1 killer. Those are workable odds. 6 people acting together can block exits, create noise, grab weapons, cause problems. One entity has to deal with all of that simultaneously. It's not a uncomfortable situation for the entity. Now split up. Those 6 people become 3 pairs, spread across 3 separate locations with no line of sight between any of them. The killer doesn't have to deal with 6 people anymore. They have to deal with 2. Then move on to the next 2. Then the next. The problem got divided into 3 smaller problems that can each be handled quietly before anyone else knows what's happening. You went from 1 difficult situation to 3 easy ones, and you did it voluntarily. You suggested it enthusiastically. The group never does this arithmetic. Yes, that is a word that's in my vocabulary before they split. Nobody takes 30 seconds to think about what they're actually proposing. The words come out, everyone agrees, and 6 people become a to-do list. A shorter to-do list every time someone opens a door alone. Horror films have been running this exact experiment for 50 years with consistent results. But if you want something more rigorous than 50 years of fictional corpses, the science has been tracking this problem in the real world since before Scooby-Doo was even on television. After that, we'll get back to when it does actually make sense. Researchers have been studying what happens when prey separates from its group for decades. Oh, not like horror movie prey or the cute blondies in the grocery store line you prey on yourself, you bastard. Researchers research actual animals being hunted by actual predators in actual fields. That is a terrible way of wording, but I'm keeping it in. The findings are remarkably consistent. A study tracking large carnivore attacks on humans compiled over 5,000 incidents across 70 years. Lions, tigers, wolves, bears, 12 species across 3 continents. The single most reliable factor in whether an attack was fatal wasn't the species, wasn't the location, wasn't the time of day. It was whether the victim was alone. A separate study looked at sparrowhawks hunting redshanks. When the flock size reached 30 birds, individual kill probability dropped by 95%. 95! The predator didn't get worse at hunting because of a researcher looking at it nearby. The math just stopped working in its favor once the group was large enough. Wolves hunting bison solo have a 100% success rate. A lone wolf going after a lone bison fails 99 times out of 100. Pack size changes everything. What this means is that the instinct to stay together is the single most effective survival mechanism that prey animals have developed across millions of years of being eaten. More bodies in one place means more eyes, more noise, more variables for the predator to manage. It compounds the difficulty in a way that splitting up compounds the ease. The films know this, by the way. Some of them show it working out exactly as the science predicts, every time, without exception, in the same order. Let's start with the one that started all of it. Camp Crystal Lake. 8 counselors show up to reopen a summer camp that's closed for 20 years because 2 people were murdered there. They've walked into this voluntarily, which is its own conversation, but the relevant part is what happens next. Every single death in Friday the 13th happens to someone who's alone. Annie hitches a ride by herself and gets herself killed on a road before she even reaches camp. Ned wanders off to investigate a cabin alone. Brenda gets lured outside by a voice calling for help and walks toward it by herself. Bill goes to check the generator alone. No character in this film dies in a group. Not one. The pattern is unbroken across the entire runtime. Pamela Voorhees didn't need a plan. The counselors made the plan for her. She just had to wait for the next one to wander off, which on average took about 4 minutes. That's the baseline. Isolation as the pure mechanism, now make it psychological. 6 women go caving. Their leader, Juno, has secretly taken them to an unmapped system instead of the documented route she promised. Nobody knows where they are. There are no maps. Then, the cave entrance collapses. Surprise, surprise. They haven't encountered the crawlers yet, and the group is already coming apart. The betrayal surfaces. Juno lied. Trust goes with it. And 2 miles underground with no exits is not the ideal location for that conversation. The thing keeping them safe from the crawlers was the group holding together. Once that's gone, so was the protection. Beth gets accidentally stabbed through the throat by Juno during a panic separation in the dark. Sam dies alone crossing a chasm. Juno gets left to face the crawlers by herself as a deliberate act. The monsters are almost incidental by the end. The group dismantled itself from the inside and the crawlers just handled the paperwork. Friday the 13th shows you what happens when characters physically separate. The Descent shows you what happens when they psychologically separate. Same result. It Chapter 2 takes that one step further. What if someone in the group design is split on purpose, knowing it had already failed once before? The Losers Club returns to Derry as adults, perform a ritual that will destroy Pennywise permanently. The ritual requires each of them to retrieve a personal artifact from their past. So they split up across town. Oh, yeah, Mike forgot to tell something though. The last group of people who attempted this ritual was completely wiped out. He knew, he withheld it. The ritual also didn't technically require them to be alone. That was a condition Mike built into the instructions. He designed the split knowing the previous attempt had ended in a massacre and told nobody. They separated based on incomplete information for a ceremony that didn't require separation, organized by somebody with documented evidence that the last attempt had failed catastrophically. Mike would have done great in HR, but that's understandable. Civilians making bad decisions under pressure is one thing. Take that off the table entirely and put them in space. The Colonial Marines are trained military personnel with pulse rifles, smart guns, motion trackers, and body armor. They have a commanding officer with a tactical plan. By every measurable standard, they are better equipped than anyone else on this list. Lieutenant Gorman splits the unit inside the Xenomorph Hive, then restricts ammunition because of nearby reactor coolant. Hudson responds to this information.
What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
What follows is one of the most complete massacres in science fiction. The motion trackers show the swarm converging from every direction. Gorman freezes at the controls. Marines get picked off in a collapsing structure with no weapons and no unified defensive position. The point isn't that the Marines were stupid. I mean, maybe they were. They were just also following commands, I guess. But my real point is that none of their advantages mattered once the unit was split in an enclosed space against something that understood the terrain better than they did. Training, weapons, tactics, all neutralized by one tactical decision made in the wrong room. If splitting up ends the Colonial Marines, it ends anyone. That same question, why does everyone keep making this decision? Finally got answered in 2011, and the answer is worse than the problem. In 2011, Cabin in the Woods came out. On the surface, it's a horror film about 5 college students who go to a remote cabin and get picked off one by one. Standard setup. What's different is that the whole thing is being orchestrated by an underground facility run by technicians who need the deaths to happen in a specific order for a ritual to work. The technicians have tools, chemical dispersants pumped through the cabin's ventilation system, mood alteration, behavioral nudging, decision manipulation. They use them throughout the film to steer the characters towards the outcomes the ritual requires. Or, well, somewhat requires. They also gamble on, like, who gets the kill, which is honestly kind of crazy, not gonna lie. At a certain point, the group needs to separate. But right before that, Kurt makes clear they should stick together.
No matter what happens, we have to stay together.
The lead technician pumps the gas. The character Kurt turns to the group and says,
This is right, we should split up.
that line, that exact line, the most common justification for splitting up in horror movie history, cover more ground, find help faster, was delivered by a character who had just been chemically altered to say it. It was written for him, pumped through the air conditioning, and he delivered it on cue. Cabin in the Woods is a comedy about horror movie conventions. It's not trying to be subtle, but what it accidentally documented is that the one line nobody ever questions, the line that gets the group moving in separate directions every single time, is the line that had to be chemically induced to get said. Without the gas, the character didn't want to split up. With it, he suggested it confidently, and the group agreed immediately. Every other horror film has the same line delivered by characters nobody was dosing. That's worth thinking about. And to their defense, there is a good reason for that. Horror depends on vulnerability. 6 people in a room are not that vulnerable. One person alone in the corridor is. So the split serves everyone except the characters. The director gets multiple separate tension sequences instead of one. Each one gets its own build, its own scare, its own payoff. The runtime fills efficiently, and the fundamental problem of explaining why 6 adults can't overpower a single entity disappears the moment they stop being 6 adults in the same room. It works, the sequences land, the tension builds, and audiences have been watching this for 50 years without collectively demanding an explanation. The only cost is that the characters have to behave as though splitting up was their idea, unless you find a good reason for them to split off as there is. To be fair, one film where splitting up could be a good decision. In A Quiet Place, the threat hunts exclusively by sound. The creatures are blind, fast, and functionally indestructible. The only thing keeping the Abbott family alive is silence. In this film, splitting up is occasionally correct. Not always, not carelessly, but when Lee and Marcus separate from the farmhouse to draw the creature away from Evelyn in labor, that's a sound, tactical decision. The threat tracks noise. 2 people moving together make twice the noise signature. Splitting the sound sources splits the creature's attention and buys time. The logic holds in other movies where one also separates to sacrifice himself. That's the exception. Roast me in the comments all you want if I missed other exceptions, though. Speaking of fighting, is that the right answer instead of splitting up? Is that the answer? Well, come on. You've made it this far. You should know the answer. Stay together. That's the whole plan. Not we'll regroup at the car. Not you go that way, I'll go this way. Shout if you see anything. Together. Same room.
Right. Stay together.
Same pace. One direction that everyone agrees on before anyone takes a step. If the group can't agree on a direction, pick one anyway. Any single direction is better than 6 separate ones. I'd also be the person making the decisions, not because I have expertise in surviving horror scenarios. I don't. But because the alternative is letting the group argue until someone floats the split and everyone nods along. I've seen how that.
Yep. See how that shit happens.
So I'm appointing myself before the first bad idea gets said, and the first rule is nobody goes anywhere alone. Not to investigate a noise, not to check the basement, not to get something from the car, not to use the bathroom, buddy system. No exception.
Yep. No exceptions. And then dude go off to say something gay about holding somebody's you know what. So I'm like, man, that nigga just went gay on the internet. But yeah, stick together. All right. Shout out to everybody. My notifications didn't go out. I've been here for 48 minutes. Notifications didn't even go out. But shout out, man. Well, like this is Star Trek talking. I did add little movie shit at the end. But like it is what it is. Shout out to everybody for coming through. Hope you have a cool day, cool afternoon, cool evening, cool night. Stay cool, stay hydrated. I know it's hot. So catch y'all on the next one. Peace.